So, Jude, we're really excited to be crafting the possibility with you of another flavor of teacher training. And what we know in British Columbia is we have new curriculum that's just come forward, and it's part of our public school system. What we are excited to possibly talk to you about is crafting a program for permaculture teacher training for school teachers. What I know you've done a little bit of work already about that.
Yes, there's been quite a few teachers from the public schools and private schools who have attended the teacher training as I have it set up. And as it is right now, the people who attend the teacher training have taken a permaculture design course. So they're really equipped with the strategies and principles of permaculture, which is the key toolkit with which one can do design, because that's what permaculture is about, is designing for a sustainable future. And in all types of life. And that's why I love it, is because it takes into economics and plants and animals. And so thinking about creating a program specifically for teachers is giving the foundation of the strategies, the principles, like obtaining a yield, which, a garden obtains a yield, or a principle like relative locations, like you put the garden close to where the house is so you can easily get your plants. So thinking about getting the foundation, and then from there thinking about interactive activities that will demonstrate how to utilize these ideas in reality.
Right. Because I can imagine if I was a school teacher already, I'd ask, why am I taking a teacher training? Because I am a teacher.
Exactly.
And so it sounds like what you're speaking to is the essential element of this practice of permaculture, this practice of sustainable living becomes the upgrade toolkit for those teachers. And then it's really the hope out of that training that the teachers feel really equipped to work with the kids in a variety of ways to understand sustainable living as a practice, not just as the theory, but actually apply it and get the kids in the classroom and out of the classroom and teach that way.
Right, exactly. And my style is to think about how everybody learns in a different way. We are kinesthetic learners, we're audio learners, we're visual learners. And how do you create an environment where all those learners will get something out of what you're presenting? And so that's the art of teaching. So is the way that I look at it. And it's also, okay, what were you going to say?
Well, I know you go into learning styles a lot, and it's pretty juicy. I've taken the permaculture teacher training, and I think about working with all the teachers we work with, how exciting it would be for them to apply that to a diverse population of children or youth, depending on their age group, and how juicy it is to think about learning styles as an ecology and how an ecosystem of a classroom and the language translates so beautifully from permaculture learning to classroom or school learning, shall we say.
Yes, that's a really good point. I've had the opportunity to teach this course all over the world, and it's very interesting when, with specific cultures, just like with permaculture, there's the strategies, like the toolkit, and it's the same thing with the teacher training. It's the strategies. It's like, how do you think about incorporating this in the classroom, any classroom and anywhere where in the world? And the goal of that for me is, when thinking about for my curriculum, is that we have the first thing that I really co-create with the group is an atmosphere of safety, so that people can come in there and feel safe and comfortable, and that is the atmosphere that I hope to guide for teachers to do in the classroom, so that people can learn, let go of their fears of whatever it might be, safety, inclusivity, like everyone is being heard. So it's not just about teaching permaculture per se, but it's a whole way of teaching, and I call it the art of teaching, and embracing facilitation in that, and how do you work with challenging situations, or and so what I was going to mention was that, so people who've had many years of teaching or not many years of teaching, they find that they get something out of the course, even though they've been teaching a long time. So it's not only just teaching those permaculture principles, but it's the whole picture.
What I've really heard from teachers who've stepped into permaculture is it's enlivened and inspired their work all the more, and it's almost like grabbing hold of what their passion is, and this new curriculum is interdisciplinary. So teachers have all these different kind of aspects of themselves they can bring in, but also different resource people that come from different disciplines to deliver it. And it's really inquiry based learning. It's really project based, like hands on immersive learning as much as possible. And can you say a little bit about that in teaching teachers around permaculture?
Right. Well, I seek the proactive learner, the person who really wants to come in there and just make change within their life and facilitate change within their classroom, or get out there and start teaching in the library or workshops, and teaching to anyone anywhere. That's and my goal is to change the educational paradigm one person at a time, because so many of us have been taught in a very linear fashion. And the goal in this course is to teach in a multifaceted fashion. So you've got that spiral learning where we're always visiting what we've already talked about and how does it apply to the current subject. So that'd be one way. And then to think about, like, in a classroom situation, if you're doing gardening, it's like, okay, you can talk about gardening, you can go out and plant a garden, you can also have songs around the garden. You can think about giving away your surplus in the, teaching kids how to, beyond growing food, but how to cook their food that they're growing. So it's just this multi-tiered level and way of sharing information. Because that's what I think of education, is that we're sharing information. And I'm a guide in that process.
Yep. And then everybody is in that immersive learning. It's like life skills development, and then lifelong learners can bring all our skills and learning together. Well, I know this is a generative process as all great curriculum is developed, and I think we look really forward to seeing how this can integrate for the school system K-12 as this moves forward. And it's exciting that we're going to see this as a pilot.
Yes, it's amazing and thrilling that you're actually doing this, and that, because it really, we need to work with our children. It's they're the ones that are going to be making all these changes, and to giving them the skills. And a permaculture principle I love is simple solutions for great effects. And even if you get into the science class and you're able to have a simple way of sharing information, like growing peas and figuring out which way the sun moves relative to way the phototropism in growing a plant, is like something that they can take with them and teach other people. And a lot of times we find that these children will teach their parents, and that's also quite exciting.
Paying it forward into our collective future.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.